Hello and welcome to my Let's Play DDO Permadeath. My idea with this character is to solo all the way up to level 20 on Permadeath rules, specifically the rules of my guild, Extreme Explorers. The website is in the chat there. And as I say, to record him all the way up. I won't necessarily talk over all of the videos, but I will talk over a few that seem more interesting, or where I think there'll be interesting stuff to comment on. Firstly, let's say this guy has done the grotto, and so he has the basic gear from the grotto. He has in the bank one heirloom item, something that I picked up on another character, which I hope I might be able to use on this guy later on. It's another character that died, which is why it's an heirloom item. And apart from that, this guy is just going to get what gear he finds and get other people in groups that he's in find. And I am allowed to use the auction house, but since I can't make a lot of money on a permanent character, the amount that I can buy will be pretty limited. Okay. I'm going to grab ship buffs, which I'll cut out from the video. Alright. So I will talk a bit about Permadeath while I play here. So typically each guild has its own rules, so I'll talk a bit about the rules that I'm playing under with my guild. The most fundamental rule is that if you die, you delete the character and re-roll. You are allowed to be raised by someone else in the quest, but since I am mostly soloing on this guy, that's not going to apply. Also, if you have mechanical ways to raise yourself, like clerics do, then those are okay too. I forgot where I got in on elite for a moment there. I did.
The door's lock is beyond hope of picking. Hopefully the key is still somewhere in the storehouse.
As you see, my tactics are basically extreme cowardice, as you'd expect on a Permadeath character going elite in the first quest. So apart from the dying restriction, there are equipment restrictions. So no handed down gear from other characters apart from the heirloom, which I already mentioned. There are restrictions on handing equipment between characters belonging to different players. So I can accept things from other players that are in groups with me or just other members of the guild, but only if they're within 3 levels of me. No equipment from people outside the guild, of course. And people inside the guild are subject to the same restrictions, so the amount that they've got to hand over is limited. So I'm going to be picking up every bit of money in here as well, because I'm not going to have much in the way of resources for a while. The guild that I'm in, Extreme Explorers, doesn't have difficulty restrictions, so I'm allowed to play stuff on normal and allowed to repeat quests, although I tend not to repeat stuff very much on my characters. I usually do each difficulty once, but I will occasionally repeat things. We do have a guild ship and ship buffs, but we also restrict ourselves to not have more than the lowest level of each type of ship buff. So only the plus 10 resist shrines and plus 1 stat shrines. If you've been listening so far and you're thinking I'm completely crazy for playing with those restrictions, then you may want to stop watching, because I find it interesting.
This appears to be the main storeroom. It seems the villagers have been preparing for a protracted siege.
Obviously doing stuff like Korthos is normally pretty dull on a character that has super gear, but when you're doing it on a Permadeath guy that has nothing, it's still pretty interesting. In fact, I very rarely do this quest on Elite on Permadeath characters. Certainly solo. I usually do it on hard, unless there's another guildie on who's already got some decent gear that can do it with me. But I gather Artificers are pretty powerful, so I'm going to try it. This is also the first Artificer I've played, which should be interesting.
A key falls out of the crate. A Sahagan emerges from a hidden passage, demanding the key. You mustn't let the scrolls fall into devourer hands.
Yikes, down to my last healing potion there. I'm still getting used to the aiming with the repeating crossbow. First time I've used one. And every chest is important in Permadeath at low levels. That's really where I'm going to get my resources from for a while. Completely out of healing. That's great. I guess that's why it's extreme exploring. Man, I need a melee weapon to break these barrels with. And I need every bit of money I can get at this stage to buy healing potions when I get outside, because the next quest is going to be more difficult than this one. What else can I say about the Permadeath rules?
The door swings open. It appears that the floor in this room can be moved and rotated.
So we're allowed to use the auction house, but you tend to make limited money at Permadeath, so it's not super useful. And I pretty much don't use it on Permadeath characters to buy. I just use it to sell to make money. Other than that, I do allow myself to buy tomes, since they are they enable more interesting builds, and more interesting builds is more fun.
The protective spell dissipates. All that remains now is to take and deliver the scroll.
Alright, one down. And so far Artificers do seem quite good, but it's going to take some getting used to using the repeating weapon. I've played casters quite a bit, but not really not ranged guys. Not ranged weapon users, I mean. Alright, time to buy out every healing potion I can get. Man, I can only get one. That's not good. Thank goodness for that. Okay, now we have healing. Ha! I completely forgot that I had a pet as well. That's how well I know artificers. Hang on a moment while I take my enhancements. I'll be back in a moment. So I guess I should talk about the build a little as well. The build is probably mainly interesting insofar as it shows how little I know about artificers. I went with a dwarf for extra constitution.
Crypt, you hear the strange and unsettling
This is going to be a ranged
artificer,
artificer, strong in dexterity, constitution, intelligence.
A grim-faced man
And we will see how that works out.
Strange. Sarcophagi line the walls, but they're broken open and empty. Where did the bodies go?
Time to summon my pet and see if it is any use. It will probably get me killed instead, but we will see.
What were those cultists up to? This bears more investigation.
Well, he takes aggro away from me, which is definitely an advantage. Even on elite, that guy was only doing 1 point of damage.
Though rusty, this longsword is still sharp. It's a slashing weapon, perfect for slicing through putrid zombie. There's a Sahuagin in here, performing some kind of ritual.
Come, dead son of Korthos.
A magical crest appears from the destroyed altar. If you take it with you, it may be useful later. You continue to hear cultists about their evil work from further inside the crypt.
Alright, well, we're going well so far. I'm not liking what the group at the end is going to be like solo on this guy. Certainly not likely to get the final optional, I think. But I should survive if I'm cautious.
As you slay these
I guess I can talk too about my Permadeath experience a bit. So I started playing DDO a couple of years ago now, I guess.
Perhaps the
and played a few months soloing a lot. Played in groups a bit, but found it difficult to get along with general pugging.
Another crest drops out as you smash the altar.
It seemed to me that the pug scene was very dominated by groups that wanted to elite the whole time, and people that weren't trying to cooperate at all. The whole bring your own healing thing really doesn't appeal to me. So, don't see much of that in Permadeath. I thought I'd give Permadeath a try since I've played a few other Permadeath type games, although none that are first-person or third-person adventuring games like this. And I think it makes things much more interesting. The groups are much more cooperative. Personally, I could live without the Permadeath thing itself. If the game just had some consequence for dying that made you take it seriously, that would be sufficient for me. But absent there being an actual incentive to play the game carefully and systematically, and actually use tactics, I will take Permadeath. The nice thing with Artificer is you get to stand back and do the damage, but you've got unlimited damage unlike casters, so far this is promising. I wonder if I have any chance of getting the trap on Elite. It'd be pretty dangerous taking it on, you can easily kill yourself with the explosion. But I think I will try. Probably I will just fail to find it. which is a fairly safe way to fail, I suppose. Right, I gotta remember I have buffs.
In the middle of this chamber is an when the altar collapses, a third crest appears. It glows with cold magic.
I think my dog malfunctioned. Yep, I'm talking about you. Alright, I may regret this, but let's take a look at the trap.
A chest. It's out in the open and unprotected. And that's probably what the dead cultist by the chest thought.
Oh boy, now I have to try disabling it. We have no gear at all.
The trap here is set to spray acid onto whoever approaches the chest. But you can disable it now that you've found the control box.
Oh boy.
You've disconnected the trap's firing mechanism.
Oh, roll the 19.
Chest is
That would
safe
work.
to approach now.
And in the interest of getting the absolute maximum XP, time to go around everything else. Smash everything I can. XP tends to be a bit harder to come by for Permadeath characters, so we do tend to be pretty thorough. There's a lot of dungeon crawling in Permadeath in general, and I'm a very slow dungeon crawling type of player.
This is a dark and dusty passage.
So yeah, I was going to talk about my Permadeath
Doesn't
experience
look like anyone's come
and got
through
cut off
here
by
in
something.
decades.
So I do have a couple of characters that have made, well, 3 characters now that have made it up to 20, including one that did it mostly solo, which is my monk, now at level 21. It took a long time though. It took me about a year for my first Permadeath character to make it all the way up, and most of that was that character playing. It just took him a long time. Just waiting for my dog here. Alright, well this final fight could get interesting.
A magical barrier blocks the way, and behind it, another Sahuagin performs unholy
I don't think I will
rituals
even bother
at a
trying to go
devourer
for the altar here.
This
Well,
barrier
maybe I will.
appears. You fit the last crest in place, and the magic shield dissipates. The Sahuagin inside spits out in a venomous voice.
These fools will keep Korthos shall be
The last altar shatters.
Hey, I got it. Out of ammo, it's no fun. Can you tell I'm new to playing Artificers? Alright. All the optionals, I wasn't expecting to manage that.
Your bold action saved Korthos and brought the Sahuagin's fell scheme to naught. The treasure chest in the antechamber is now yours.
Just smash everything here in case any money drops out. That went pretty well. That was promising. Now the tougher decision, which is whether to attempt the Cannith Crystal on Elite. That's a tough one to solo at level 1. Hey, Mnemonic Potion. I like it. I like how they randomly throw in the Freenal Dungeon music at the end here. I do like that music.
Some of the villagers tried to stem the Sahuagin tide, but their courage led to naught but grievous injuries.
I can
Korthos
actually upgrade my
needs
gear a bit
someone
here.
with more than just guts.
A mouldy light crossbow. I've never seen one of those before. And hope never to see one again. Two action points, that is not bad. Okay. Well, I think there is nothing for it but to try Cannith Crystal Elite. I may well live to regret this. As I say, I don't normally do these Korthos ones on Elite, straight out of the door, solo. But it feels like it is worth a try with this guy.
Where the Cannith Crystal is hidden.
Alright. This might go badly, or it might go very badly.
You can feel the life-saving heat emanating from the magic crystal Boldar spoke of.
Actually, I'm having enough trouble aiming this thing. I think I'll stay on the ground.
Those who would doom Korthos by destroying it.
This may or may not be a good idea. Well, I can deal with one at a time. I'm not sure I can deal with much more. Okay, that's not good. Not good at all. But I am more than halfway through. Provided I don't get the boss, I should survive here. Please no boss, please no boss. Yes, I think no boss. Phew, that is a relief.
Crystal and saving Korthos.
Alright. Well, that worked out okay in the end. I quite often take the braces of assistance here in low-level permanent groups. It is very handy being able to...
Cautious looks have become friendly nods. Then word comes that your presence is requested in the tavern.
It is very handy being able to raise people that have been knocked unconscious. It's pretty sad to lose a permanent character just because someone couldn't heal you from unconscious. But since this guy is mostly soloing, I'm not going to do that this time. Oh, I see, I didn't get much money on the last one. I assumed I had plenty of money by now, but apparently I don't. This next bit could be just as fun then. It is usually the end fight of this one that worries me, but on this guy, I think it's the brawl in the tavern here that's going to be scary.
Your waiting bears fruit. This must be the Collaborator stepping in from the dark.
And my pet's getting a beating. Ouch. I may have to dismiss him.
Stalwart defense gives the Sahagin pause, but you hear more.
On the plus side, I'm getting a lot of good loot from elite chests. And I definitely like that plus dex item. They're having trouble hitting me in the corner here. I'll have to remember this spot for a future run. Cowardice is definitely rewarded in Permadeath.
You have weathered the Sahagin storm. Now, after that traitorous Jacoby Drexelhand, he must have fled into the cellar. Drexelhand isn't here. However, webbed footprints on the ground betray the location of a secret passage. Backtracking them may reveal the way to the chamber beyond the secret passage. Looks ancient, predating Korthos village.
I could really use some better armor most of all. Well, I guess AC-22 is not at all bad at these levels. Nothing that great. I'm guessing he's not going to get fully healed. That will be unfortunate. Well, it's not too bad. Provided I can pull aggro, he might survive. Now I'll follow the usual tactic in the guild here, which is to pull this guy up the staircase so the guys that spawn behind him don't end up in the same place.
And has nowhere left to run. Finish the job.
Alright, made it to level 2. Which doesn't always happen when you do this one on an elite. Now the fight down the stairs, I might still not make it to level 2 since the fight down the stairs is pretty nasty. Hopefully I can pull just one. Damn, they're pretty close together. And no real bluff. Hey, it worked. I didn't think bluff would work against these guys. But it did, so I'll go with that. Not that time, though. I was hoping that guy would actually come to me, but not it seemed. Alright, let's go for it. Alright. That went better than I expected. An elite streak of 4, which is pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to level up and sort out enhancements and things. I'll see you in another video perhaps.